Hey, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy Skip, aka Skip and Tosh here, back with another breakdown. Sacramento Kings, as you know, take the L to the Memphis Grizzlies, 124 to 105. A third of our team had COVID. I mean, we didn't expect anything else, did we? We did for a second. And we're going to get into that here in a bit. But before we do, we'd really like to thank our sponsors, Tabu Ohana. Put in my code SKIPTC, get $40 off of your purchase. So if you're looking to upgrade your chair, gaming chair, office chair, check out Tabu Ohana. And then the other one is Computer Booter. If you're local to Sacramento County, over in Carmichael, they're a repair shop, gift shop, and gaming lounge. So you can go rent some consoles and play. You can get your Mac PC or console repaired. And you can also grab some gifts for that gamer or anime enthusiast in your life. Thank you to both of our sponsors for sponsoring this channel. And these Sacramento Kings, as I say, they absolutely, did their best. There was even some parts of the game where they went on a run and had us believing that they just might get the job done. We can put this in the echelon of some of the funnest basketball plays that they've played this season, but ultimately didn't pull it out. Memphis, 29 points in the first quarter. Sacramento, 31. Had us believing. Memphis came back with 29 points in the second quarter, and we could only scrounge up 25. 33 points for Memphis in the third quarter, and we caught that third quarter stang, that third quarter Kang stang, only 19 points. Memphis closed us out with 33 points in the fourth quarter, and we only had 30, 124, 105. 6 lead changes, 4 ties. We were, we were in the lead, like I said, for a good amount, and then things started to change. A lot of the air got sucked in the room about midway through the second quarter. Points in the paint, they had 60. We had 36. So you can kind of see where we caught the burn a little bit. They had 37 bench points and we only had 19. But of course, we were down a lot of our people. A lot of our bench players were our starters. And the main thing that hurt us in this game was protecting the ball. That's really where things started to fall apart in the second quarter. And then throughout the rest of the game, we had 18 turnovers. They only had 11. And points off of turnovers, we did capitalize off of ours. We had 31 points off of turnovers, but they had 12. And thus was the game. Let's take a look. Our starter's going to look a little different this game. Harrison Barnes started in his 36 minutes. He had 20 points. It was good to see him return to form in this game. Chimezie Metu had 18 points and 11 rebounds, so a nice little double-double for Chimezie. Only 2 of 9 for 3, but when he did hit those shots, they were major for us. He was 6 of 8 from the line, shooting 75%. I'll take that from Chimezie. Harrison was 7 of 7 from the line. Tristan Thompson started and played 28 minutes. He had 12 points and 9 rebounds. Almost snagged himself a double-double. Playing very aggressive. It don't always look pretty, but, the energy is right. Buddy Hield started in his 36 minutes. He was 4 of 6 from 3, looking much, much better. Ended with 15 points, 3 steals, and 1 assist for Buddy Hield. Tyrese Halliburton was our starting point guard in his 36 minutes. He was 3 of 5 from 3. Didn't get to the line at all. Had 10 assists, had 21 points. So very nice double-double for Tyrese Halliburton in this game. We'll talk a little bit more about it, though. Maurice Harkless played 21 minutes. He had 4 rebounds and 5 points. He did hit one of his 4 3-pointers. That's actually a good thing for Maurice Harkless. Damian Jones played 11 minutes. He was perfect from the field, 2 of 2. Ended it with 6 points. Also had 2 rebounds. Jamias Ramsey clocked 14 minutes in his game, played some meaningful minutes. Unfortunately, he was only 2 of 8 from the field. Didn't hit any of his 3-pointers. That three-point shot was looking way off. He ended the game with 6 points. He did snag 3 rebounds. Justice Robinson, which was someone that we signed the day of to come in to play from the Sacramento Kings because our roster was that depleted. He played 7 minutes. He ended with 0 points, but he did have 5. Oh, excuse me. No, he played 7 minutes. He ended with 0 points. Had 1 assist. Unfortunately, had 1 turnover. And Nemias Keita, so the debut of the Portuguese phenomenon, first Portuguese player to play in the NBA, first NBA game in his 7 minutes, didn't score a bucket, unfortunately, but he did have 5 rebounds. They only gave him 1 block, but what was interesting is he blocked a shot right before the end of, I want to say it was the end of the second half, and then the person got the ball back, and then he blocked it again. but I guess the shot got off after the buzzer, so they didn't count the block, obviously. But I literally tweeted maybe about 30 seconds before I saw it, and maybe at the same time it was happening because I watched on a delay. I said, Nimi gonna clock at least 2 blocks in this game. And literally, like, I look up and 30 seconds later, swat, and then the dude got the ball back and tried to shoot it again. Swat. I'm like, well, I knew that was gonna happen. And then Bobby Wood, my man Bobby the Body, Bobby Wood. Unfortunate. So he didn't have any field goals, but he did go to the line and he made both of his free throws, and he had one turnover. So he ended with 2 points. So 2 points in 2 minutes with one turnover gets you +2. Man, I was pulling for him so much, especially because we need wing depth. And he lives in my neighborhood, so I actually like see him and I say hi to him and all that stuff when I see him. But unfortunately, it just didn't work out like that. Anyway, so and Memphis, yeah, I guess we could take a look at them real quick. Dylan Brooks was really the killer. In his 33 minutes, look, he was 50% from the field. Only shot 4 3-pointers, but he made 2 of them. Knocked down his free throw. Had 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, only 2 turnovers in 23 minutes. He was John earlier, and when we were playing good, Tyrese was John back, which I love to see Tyrese like that. John back, and not John back and laughing, kind of how Fox be sometimes, or at least most of the time. Sometimes Fox is serious, but really John back. Like, I love the fact that Tyrese likes to engage and talk. You know, he even be getting at our local media sometimes based off of some of the stuff that he be seeing. And you know what? Even though he's wrong, and even though he sometimes he picks the wrong time to do this, he's young. But the fact that it's there is a very promising thing. Jaren Jackson Jr. in his 27 minutes had 21 points, only 6 rebounds though. He didn't hit any of his 3-pointers, which is kind of what he's known for, but he did make all of his free throws, which is good. Steven Adams in his 30 minutes had 12 rebounds, but only 5 points. Let's see. Yep, Desmond Bain, who stepped up for them in his 26 minutes, had 24 points. He was playing incredible, looking like a real steal from the draft. And let's see, Tyus Jones started. My old man Tyus Jones, who was all worrying about his jump shot. Some people were a few years ago. Me and my buddy Leek were talking about it. I set a reminder for like 3 years later. Check on Tyus Jones' jump shot. And it ain't looking too bad. It's definitely much improved. He was 50% from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, so he shot 100% there. Knocked down his free throws, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, ended with 14 points. Kyle Anderson clocked 19 minutes. He had 6 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 6 assists. That's an all-around good game for him. D'Anthony Melton, who's usually a Kings killer, was exactly that, a Kings killer. 2 of 3 from 3, and he had 4 steals, 3 assists, and 19 points. Also had a block. Xavier Tillman. The rest of them didn't clock too much. Killian Tilly, I think, is who this is. In his 13 minutes, he had 8 points, as well as, 2 steals. So that was a good look for him, and that pretty much rounds those things out. Sacramento Kings now, officially, I think we're at 12 and 18. Yeah, so 12 and 18, which is still good for 10th in the West. Look at us, everybody. 7th in points per game, 29th in opponents' points per game. I still continue to ask who is worse than us. Although when I did look at defensive rating at another, in another spot, we were actually 26th. So actually, I wasn't even looking at another spot. I was looking at the NBA, but I guess I was just looking at defensive stats in a slightly different way. 13th in rebounding, so our rebounding position is going up, which is good. It's nice to be close to the top third of the league in rebounding, especially since over the last few seasons we struggled with that so much. And we're moving up with that without, like, Alex Len didn't play last game, and seriously, Rashawn Holmes is still out with his eye contusion. May come back next game. He's questionable. May come back the game after that, most likely. Hopefully with some goggles. And assists per game was still way too low, mostly because we have too many like unassisted buckets as opposed to assisted buckets. So it like, look at the dichotomy of being 7th in points per game, but not even being middle of the pack in assists per game. Like, like I said, just too many unassisted buckets. And, it hurts us. Anyhow, we're going to go over to Fox Watch. Fox didn't play in this game, but I just wanted to see the adjusted stats from last game. Okay, yeah, so he was at 21.0. He's up to 21.3 now. Dropped down to 5 assists. Let's take a look at his 3-point percentage. It's still, yeah, still ugly. Bad, bad, not good. Shooting a career low right now from three, 26.3. Because I think in the previous game, the last game that he played, he was 0 of 4 from three, I believe, or maybe only 1 of 4 from three, which will keep him around that 26%, 25% mark. But his free throws are still career best right now, which that I wanted his 3 point to go up a little bit and his free throws to go up a little bit. Because if the rules were still the same and he was performing the same, then that would have put him somewhere around averaging close to 29 points per game. But with him getting off to a slow start, and now with this COVID protocol thing and him shooting terribly from three, career low, probably not going to reach those heights this season. We'll be lucky if he gets back up to that 26, 27 points per game where he ended at last year. If I am correct, let me double check and see, because right below here we can see some minutes. Yeah, 25.2. So, oh, I'm sorry. So that's what I wanted. I wanted his 3 point percentage to go up just a little bit, and his free throw percentage to get up to around 77, 78. And then if with that and him playing the same and maintaining the same, he would have went up to. I mean, let's just give him an extra just 3 points per game average. I mean, really, I think if those two things happen, if his 3 point percentage went up from 32% to 34%, and his free throw percentage went up from even where it is 71% to like 77%, I would say that at least gets him up to 28, 29 points per game for the season. But unfortunately, we're at 21 because of the slow start. He's working himself into it, and he was starting to play pretty well before he went down COVID protocol, had more consistent games above 20 points per game, and started to get into a rhythm, and kind of control the game, get his legs under him. So if he turns into that fourth quarter guy again this year, there's still enough time for him to get there. Let's go to Reese Watch. So this should take him up a little bit. Yep, so he's almost back up to 12 points per game. He dips down and he goes back up. He's a second-year player, you know what I mean, who's starting this year. I get it. It's just that, I understand the position that he's in, but the position that we're in is if he does not consistently perform better than he's been performing, then it's an L for us. There's no other way about it. His 3 point shooting percentage only dipped down a little bit, so he's a little bit lower than he was before. He was at 41%, so it went down a little bit. I'm really concerned about his free throw shooting, and he's just not getting to the line enough to really make an impact on this number. And I get it. He's skinny. He's frail. When he attacks the rim, it's a lot of floaters, as opposed to, layups, Euro steps, and all of that stuff. The way that he holds the ball, if you watch the way Tyrese holds the ball, the way his wrists are from when he shoots to just when he gathers, it's very awkward. If you also watch his escape dribble, like if he gets a screen and then he like jumps back, his agility is fantastic. He gets a lot of space from his, like if this was NBA 2K, his space creator badge, on his escape dribbles and on his jump backs is like a lot of space. But if you watch his legs, it's an odd bow-leggedness, and he's not in a position to shoot from it. He's not in a position to do any size-up dribbles. And he brings the ball up really high, so he can't the lower you keep the ball, the faster you can go into the next dribble move, the faster you can, make a decision, you know what I'm saying? But when he brings the ball up really high, and I'm surprised he hasn't gotten called for palming more. He finally got called for carrying this game. When you bring the ball up really high and your feet aren't in a position to be set to shoot, the defense has that much more time to react. In the NBA, since everybody's professional, it's those little slivers of moments that separate, the goods from the greats. So he has a very awkward posture with a lot of the things that he does. The nice thing is his court vision and his IQ are high, although he's too passive. He has a lot of good qualities, but his eccentricities put him in an odd position to not always be able to take advantage of the things that he's good at, like 3-point shooting or being able to do up and unders and go up because of the way that he holds the ball. And I'm talking I trained kids in basketball skills before, so I have an eye for the minutia, and it all counts. So I would like to see Rico work with him on things like that. Again, you don't want to completely change something from a guy because you could throw off their confidence. But I really, really, really would like to see things like that change for Tyrese because it's going to be those little things. Since he's a high IQ player, it's going to be those little things that are going to be the ones to make a difference. But again, second year player, hopefully by third year, fourth year, those are things that, getting tightened up. Davion Mitchell did not play in this game, but I just want to see his updated stats from before. So since he scored a little lower, he went from 9.9 down to 9.7. 3-point shooting percentage, because the last game that he played, he was netting them. It is steadily going up. Now he's at 30%. Still bad, but it's getting better. Thank goodness. Free throw shooting percentage, still not getting better. 66.7%. It's really, really bad. First year player, plenty of time to fix it. But for our hopes this year and what we want to achieve, that's gonna get us nowhere where we want to be. Unfortunately, it's the reality of the game. Anywho, Sacramento Kings, like I said, a third of our players had COVID or in COVID, health and safety protocols. So it was gonna be what it was gonna be. The nice thing that they did make us believe a little bit as they were playing that up-tempo game very nicely, moving the ball nicely. Tyrese is doing a great job of finding Buddy Hield in spots. They had a few hot potato plays where, one's driving down and Buddy kicks it to Tyrese. Tyrese drives down, kicks it back to Buddy. You know what I'm saying? Buddy nets it. And they had two sets of plays back to back like that really got the energy in Golden One Center boosting. People were up. I clapped, in my room. It was really fun basketball to see. Get out there in transition, getting steals, making plays. We were getting some stops at the rim and rebounding. Tristan Thompson getting the ball to our guards quick, pushing the ball down court. Harrison Barnes in spots, knocking down threes, able to attack the rim, getting and ones, getting fouled, getting to the line. It was, I saw someone tweet, this is Kings basketball. And it was. But I've come to learn as a fan of the Kings, in this 15, about to be 16-year playoff drought potentially, that I can't get, I can get excited for plays, but I can never be too excited for what I believe the outcome of a game will be. Because I'm wise enough to know that the Kings will take something good and they'll Kangs it up, and it'll turn into something bad quick, fast, and in a hurry. And it's unfortunate, but at the same time, if I allow myself to drink the Kool-Aid a little too much, I'm only setting myself up for disappointment. Shout out to MJ for Spider-Man No Way Home. If you expect disappointment, guess you'll never be disappointed. And that's not a spoiler. I don't want to hear it in the comments. But go see that movie. It's the best movie since Endgame and Infinity War. And come back and let Skip know that I was right. Anyway. They played out the rest of the game, and the Memphis Grizzlies don't have Ja Morant. They were missing some other players, I think due to health and safety protocol, but mainly missing Ja Morant. And they're not really missing a step without him. Dillon Brooks. I love Dillon Brooks because he accepted that villain role. He accepted his Black Mamba role early. We saw him start to ascend to it about 2 seasons ago. And when I had seen him play other teams and I seen him play against us, I was like, that's the type of player that you hate to play against, but you want on your team. And he continues to, be the emotional leader of them. And he was jawing at the Kings bench when he hit shots. He was getting into Tyrese's face. Dillon Brooks got a technical foul called on him 20 seconds into the first quarter. And I was like, get it. Bring that energy. That's the type of energy that the Kings need. We would be booing at the ref for calling it, but at the same time, we would be so proud to know that a player on our team takes the game and winning that seriously, that he's getting in people's face and letting them know, I'm in your house and you ain't doing everything that you want to do to me. You gonna have to deal with hey, you got another 47 minutes that you got to deal with me. I'll take the one tech. I'm making a statement. We would love to have a player like that. We don't have him, but we would love to. But anyway, being down Alex Lynn, being down Marvin Bagley, De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, Chemezi came back just in time. Tyrese was actually questionable. I think it was a lower back thing or something like that, but he ended up playing, thankfully. And Terrence Davis in health and safety protocols. We were down a lot of people and key people, starters. Rashawn Holmes still being out with the eye contusion. But look, I mean, this wasn't a game that I was mad at, and I also didn't expect to win it in the first place. It was nice to see that even with that squad, they achieved a moment of, a solid moment of competent, I'm saying, Kings basketball executing exactly what Alvin Gentry, who also is in health and safety protocols, I think along with other staff that they didn't even name, but executing his vision. And Doug Christie there rooting him on, cheering him on. One of the best, most consistent things that was awesome about the game is just hearing Doug Christie far off into, the microphones throughout the whole entire game. He barely sat down. He was up yakking, jawing, telling his guys what to do and where to be. And for his career, that was fantastic to see. Like with things like that, I could get and understand why his name was now. Before it was ridiculous to me, and it's not that much less ridiculous, but I could see why his name was in the hat for possible interim coaches after Luke got fired. But at the same time, this is a first year coach, and it would be a bad idea to make a first year coach a first year interim head coach. But he's the interim head coach because of COVID protocols. So hey, Doug got his shot. He won his first game. This one he didn't win, and no one could hold him against him because he didn't even have a full staff, a full squad. But hey, that was my best takeaway from the game, is that Doug Christie looks like he may have at least the determination, the will, and the presence. You know what I'm saying? To be an NBA head coach, and I hope he does. I hope he does get an opportunity down the line. But I also hope that he gets more years of just being an assistant coach, so he can really get a feel for it, and move into his next role. You know what I'm saying, in a nice, smooth way. Because I really want to see Doug Christie be successful in everything he does, and I think he will be. But I don't want him to put the cart before the horse, and I think he's probably on the same page as that. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the next game that we'll be playing. We're going to be playing against the excuse me, sorry about that. Going to be playing against the Spurs tomorrow, and you may be watching this, on Sunday. We will be playing them at 3 p.m. Kings do not do well with early games, and you would also know that though the Spurs are worse than us with the worst record, last time we played them, they made us look like we were the bottom of the league, and they were middle of the pack. Yeah, it was all bad last time. I think they ended up spanking us by like almost 30 points or something like that, which is crazy. Currently, if we're looking at standings, because I'm just going to call that piece out since we're right here. If we're looking at standings, we're in the 10th spot at 12-18. Minnesota is in the 9th spot at 14-15. So Minnesota is almost at 500. Good for them. We are 3 games below them, but that would be a 6-game. That would take 6 games to get to 500, whereas opposed to them, they can get their next game. Portland is tied with us at 12-18, but we won the tiebreaker, so they're technically considered 11th. And then San Antonio is right there at 11-17. So all San Antonio got to do in this game is just beat us, and then actually they will move ahead of us, I believe. Yeah, because they'll be 12-17 as we will be 13-18. Excuse me, no, we'll be 12-19, and they will be. Oh yeah, they'll be they'd be 12-17. So I think they would move ahead of us and be ahead of us by what's considered like half a game or whatever. Houston is at 10-20 now. New Orleans is at 10-21, and Oklahoma is at 9-19. So, and if we go up more, the 8th spot is Dallas at 14-14. Then you got Denver at 15-14 in the 7th spot. And then from there's not a lot of separation until you get to the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 19 and 11. And then you got Jazz, Golden State, and right now Phoenix got the number one spot. So it's still open enough. I mean, the most important thing is that the play-in spot is still right there. I think Minnesota is they got a middle of the pack defense, so I think they'll continue to play good enough to lock in their play-in spot. And I don't think we'll catch up to them unless something unfortunate happens, like an injury, and I don't want that to happen. But Sacramento Kings, I mean, we're down right now. We got COVID protocols going on. So I don't see it looking very good for us to get above the 10th spot. So that's our hunt. We got to be in the hunt for the 10th spot and just hope we get a play-in game, and that'll be us getting into the postseason. It's not going to snap the playoff drought, but it would be one step in the right direction if we did get to the play-in. And I know there's plenty of people out there who say, well, yeah, but what about the draft pick and all that other stuff? And I'm there, and I'm with you. I get that. But at the same time, like, I can see a sign like if we don't trade Marvin Bagley or Buddy Hield, I could see like a sign and trade with Marvin Bagley happening, to where someone gives us a pick potentially, maybe, and then we could package two picks and maybe try to move up, as well as, someone like, Buddy Hield, maybe get a pick for him. So even if I don't see us making big trades. I see us getting in as a third team in some trades. And, maybe getting it like that. Or maybe we do make a significant trade, but I don't see us making some big old trade. So I believe where we're going to affect change like that is probably going to be after the season on draft night, and seeing how something like that works out for us. Anywho, appreciate y'all stopping by as always. Thanks for, joining me. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate all the comments, be it criticism or, props. Y'all spend your time here, so thank you very much. And I'll see you after the next one. Go Kings.